0. We are here with Gali, a footballer from Real Club Deportivo Español. As always, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to chat with you and start by asking how you are. We ask you how you are. Well, thank you very much to you too for sharing this moment with me, and I am doing very well, to be honest, very eager. You are in the middle of Ramadan. Tell us a little bit for those who are not very familiar with this topic. Well, it is about not eating from sunrise until sunset, so during those hours we cannot eat or drink. Ramadan is not just that, it is also much more specific, but that's more concrete. And then at night when we are able to eat, the only thing I have done is change my routine. What I used to do during the day, I now do at night. And I try to rest after training to recover sleep hours. Now, let's talk about how you are doing, how the team is doing after this frustrating match in Villarreal. We traveled and went through what we went through, but we are good. Before the match, we were very convinced that we could win it. We are convinced that we can win it because it will be played, but I tell you it hasn't affected us now. We are focused on Girona, which is the next match. And as I have said many times, we need to focus on one game at a time and keep going like this because if we don't, we will get it wrong. I don't know if you can give us a little timeline of that afternoon. You already knew the match could be suspended from when? I personally, and I think I speak for the team, didn't know anything about a potential suspension because if we had known, I would now tell you that I knew. So I didn't know anything. We went to the match, and just before we left, 10 minutes before, the referee notified us that he had been informed by the federation and the league that the match could not be played due to a red alert. In the end, we complied with orders, so we also looked out for the safety of the fans and for ourselves and our families. So, well, I think the match was well suspended because the main thing is the safety of the people. Are you worried at all that this little break could affect us heading into Monday? I tell you that no. I think I have seen the team very eager in training after the day the match was suspended. Today, the training has been spectacular, so I see a team very eager, with a lot of ambition to play on Monday and bring home the 3 points for our people. Now, focusing a bit on the match against Girona, in this derby, is there a desire for revenge after what happened in the first round? We don't see it as revenge, honestly. We see it as just another match, a match we have to win, and that will take us further away from the relegation spots and closer to those ahead of us. So we look at it just as another match we have to win because it is clear that our objective is to win as many home matches as possible and score as many points away. As for you, if everything goes normally, you will face Bryan Gil. You come from having to deal with players like Vinicius, Nico Williams, Berenguer. This is a good moment for you, right? Well, I have said that it could be my best moment at a professional level. It is true that I haven't been in this position for long, but you always have to keep your feet on the ground. Football has shown many times how it can go up and down, so I have to keep working, keep improving the things I can do better, and from there, the rival I have in front of me, win the match. In a few years, this will make a bit more sense because there will be more players you have faced, but in the months you have been in the first division or even some in the second division, is there any rival you remember? Yes, I have always said that Rodrigo from Madrid and Nico from Athletic Club are the two players who have impressed me the most because they have been on my wing, and I have faced them one-on-one. My opinion will not change until I face other players because these two seem to me to be of an incredible level. In lower categories, you stood out more for your offensive projection, yet now you lead the league in tackles and ground duels won. What do you attribute this change to? It is true that last year, when I started with Luis, he insisted a lot on the defensive level because, as is often said, a defender has to defend and then attack. It is also true that today's football, most fullbacks tend to be very offensive, but I like to first, as is often said, take care of my area, defend, and then if I can project myself into attack, that's much better. But first, A, and then we'll see what we do with B very well, and C, what could that be? In which aspects of the game do you think you can still step up? In many aspects, like I said, defensively, I can improve in many ways. Offensively as well, it is true that I have players ahead of me like Joffre and Roca, who are the ones who usually play ahead of me. They are players with a lot of pace and one-on-one skills, and what I like is to appear from behind. So, yes, I tell them to let me go forward a bit too, because if not, I don't get seen much. But I have told you, what I do is defend and let everyone do their job. That will bring us closer to our objective. Although you say you don't get seen much, your performance is catching the attention of certain clubs at just 21 years old. How do you handle this kind of media attention? As I said before, I have to keep my feet on the ground because as I tell you, when you have 3 bad games in a row, they will say no one wants you anymore. So we know how the football world works. I don't take it too seriously. They can say things, but I don't pay much attention to it. The people who need to manage that, in this case, the agents, will do their job. My job is to deliver on the field, and from there, what happens will be for them to evaluate. This week, your name has even been linked with Football Club Barcelona, a club you have rejected a few times in the lower categories. Can we say there are 2 rejections and 3 offers? Honestly, I have heard about this news from friends who sent it to you, but as I told you before, I don't pay much attention to this. I haven't received anything, nor have I received news about other clubs that have come out. So, as I said, everything that comes will be for my agents to evaluate because that is their job. Regarding your clause of 15 million euros, do you think it is too much? To me, it seems a lot because these are figures I have never heard in my life. You hear those numbers, but you could never say that a club would pay that much for you. But well, if a club pays it, I suppose it is because they really want you and believe you fit into their scheme. So from there, it's Espanyol, and as I said earlier, my agents will evaluate what comes. Do you still see your entire career being in blue and white? I would like to spend my entire career at Espanyol, but it is clear that football often doesn't go as one would like, and it changes very quickly. So, would I like to? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know. In that sense, you have a contract until 2027, if I'm not mistaken. Has there been any approach from the club to renew that contract? Not that I know of, my agents haven't informed me of anything. No, a year and a half ago, I renewed. I have this year and 2 more left, and for now, the club has not approached me. So I'm still very calm, I have 2 years left, and everything will happen in its moment. In recent months, we can say you have become one of the references of the fans. Also, I understand, of some kids from the academy. This year, the number 21 was vacant. Next year, I don't know what idea the club has. Would you like to wear that number, and what would it mean to you? To be honest, I would love it because it represents everything. We can say everything about Espanyol. It's a number that means a lot. The person who wears it represents something very big. It is true that Paul is there, who has been longer than me, and Joffre as well, but there are players who can also carry it and will do so with a lot of pride. So if they give me the option to take it, I would be delighted. And in the future, becoming captain of Espanyol, what would that mean for a kid like you who has practically spent your whole life here? I think anyone can ask any of those in the first team who came from the academy that one of their dreams is to be captain of Espanyol for everything it represents. In the end, when you come here, you come with the idea of being a first-team player, and once you achieve it, the next goal is to be captain of Espanyol because, in the end, you are one of the leaders. So for me, it would be a dream to be captain of Espanyol. Speaking of captains, how do you see Javi Cuato's situation, especially with his renewal being a hot topic lately? I see him as if he has a contract here until 2035. He is super involved with the team. Honestly, we don't talk about this topic in the locker room because I think we are all focused on the same objective. When we achieve our objective, from there, let everyone do what they think is best for themselves. At the moment, all the players whose contracts are expiring are involved in the objective. I think there's no other way for us to achieve the objective. If one piece of the team fails, everything will fall apart, and I believe that is the mentality we are carrying to keep things going well at the moment. There's that obligatory question, they say suitors are popping up from every corner. How do you see that? As he says, he carries it with a lot of naturalness, but how do you see it? Yes, I tell you, He carries it with a lot of, like you said, with a lot of naturalness, keeping his feet on the ground. He is a kid. I call him a kid because he is young, but I am younger than him. He has also come from the academy, and his dream has been to play in the first team. And the performance he is giving, we do not see it alone, everyone sees it. So it is normal that so many people are looking at him. But as I told you before, first, we need to achieve our objective. After that, each one should do what is best for their future. You have been with him for a few years. Did you expect this performance in the first division from him? Yes, I did. I saw it in the reserves. I saw him when I was in second-year cadets. We came to watch the reserves, and I already saw him. It is true that he had a knee injury that slowed him down a bit, but he came back strong. And so far, we are seeing what he is contributing to the team. Now, to wrap up, this week Vitor Roque is returning to Brazil. Social media has recalled your encounter. Has anything gotten to you about that? Yes, you get it from friends, they make jokes, you missed your chance to play against him at home. In the end, that was a clash that happened at that moment, it stayed there. I don't really remember. My friend sent it to me this week, but I didn't even remember what happened, and it didn't matter to me whether he went to Palmeiras or stayed at Betis. In the end, I was going to play the match, not because he was at Betis or because I have something against him. My objective is to play for the team, and from there, I have to take care of my area well enough to contribute my grain of sand. And lastly, an international break is coming up. We hope for that call. I am very eager to go with the national team. It is true that one or two of the best fullbacks in the world play in my position, so putting me on the left makes it more difficult to put me as a centre-back or winger. But I'm not worried about that, it would fill me with great joy, both for me and my family. In the end, representing a country, those are big words. So if they call me, I can say that I am one of the kids from the world. Well, let's hope for it. Thank you very much.